Chapter 2, Section 3. We start out with vocabulary and formula is an equation that states a rule. It's an equation that states a rule.
Don't repeat it 3 times.
And you've done several of these in middle school. Can anyone come up with an a formula that you did in middle school?
A equals MC squared.
MX plus B.
E equals MC squared is a formula. I don't think you did that in middle school, but it is a formula. What did you say?
MX plus B.
Y equals MX plus B is another formula you used. You used the Pythagorean theorem. A squared equals B squared plus C squared. And a couple people from other hours remembered the quadratic formula. Negative B plus or minus the square root
Oh,
of
that
B
was
squared.
That was all over 2A?
Yeah.
That was the Pop Goes Weasel song.
Correct. We even had somebody sing it the other hour. So formulas,
You guys are weird.
gentlemen, formulas are equations that state a rule, tell the relationship between some quantities. And what we're going to do today is we are going to solve a formula for the indicated variable. In the first one, they give us D equals R times T, and they want us to solve that for R. So our goal is to get that letter all by itself. To get that letter all by itself. This is R times T, so we have to undo that multiplication. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by T. Over here, these T's cancel, and all we're left with is R. And on the left-hand side, you have D divided by T. And what we just did is we solved that equation for R. Got the R all by itself. Number 2, we are solving for T. So we are trying to get this letter right here all by itself. We're trying to get all the other numbers and letters and things away from it. This is a 2 times T. So we are going to divide both sides by 2. And we need to divide this entire side by 2. And I would accept 2 different answers for this. You could have T equals 5 minus B over 2. Or if you would like to separate those, you could have T equals 5 halves minus B over 2. Either one of those would be fine. They mean the same thing. Example 3, we are asked to solve for C. First thing we're going to get rid of is the 32. This is a plus 32. So to get rid of that, we need to subtract 32 from both sides. And when we do that, these nicely cancel out. And you have F minus 32 equals 9/5 C. All we did so far is subtract the 32 from both sides. Now to get rid of this 9/5, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So we need to multiply both sides by 5/9. On this left-hand side, we have to multiply that whole thing by 5/9. So you have to put parentheses around here. And you multiply that whole thing times 5/9. These, when you multiply by the reciprocal, these cancel out. And you're left with a C. And on this side, we had to multiply the whole thing. So you have 5/9 times F minus 32.
That's the answer.
That's your answer. Number 4, we are solving for H, trying to get this H by itself. And if you would like to, I don't know if it makes a difference for you, maybe write it like that 1/2 straight up and down. To get rid of this 1/2, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we are going to multiply both sides of the equation by 2. And if we do that, on the left-hand side we have 2a. These cancel out, and you have b times h. Our goal is to solve for that h, to get the h all by itself. So we need to get rid of this b over here. That is b times h. So we are going to divide both sides. Your final answer then, h equals 2a over b. Example 5, we are asked to solve for I. So we are trying to get this letter all by itself. That means we need to get rid of this gt. That is a subtract gt. So we need to do the opposite, which is adding gt to both sides. These two will cancel out, and all you have left is I. And on the left-hand side, you have an F and a plus GT. I equals F plus GT. Number 6, that formula should hopefully look remotely familiar to you. Can anyone tell me what it is? Density equals mass divided by volume. This one is a little bit different because we're solving for this letter that's on the bottom. And we're going to start by multiplying both sides by v to get it out of the denominator. And then that becomes d times v. On the right-hand side, we're dividing by v and multiplying by v, so that cancels. What was your question? Okay, that's what we're trying to do, but first I had to get it out of the denominator. And now we have to get rid of this d, so we're going to divide both sides by d. And now the v is all by itself. Number 7, we're trying to solve for the w. We have to get rid of this m first. We are going to multiply both sides by m. These are going to cancel, and we have ms equals w minus 10e. We multiplied both sides by the m. And now to get the w by itself, we need to get rid of the 10e. So we are going to add 10e to both sides. On the left-hand side, you have ms plus 10e. And on the right-hand side, those cancel, and you get w. Number 8, volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. V equals 1/3 b times h. We're solving for h. First thing we're going to do is get rid of this 1/3. So we will multiply both sides by 3. Those cancel. On the left-hand side, we have 3v. On the right-hand side, we have v times h. Our goal is to get the h by itself. So to get rid of this b, we are going to divide both sides by b. And your final answer then is h is 3v over b. 9 and 10 have some exponents in them, have some things squared. In question number 9, we're solving for C. First thing we want to do to solve for the C is to get rid of the M. And these would cancel out. You would have E over M equals C squared. We don't want to know what C squared equals. We want to know what C equals. So to undo that squared, we will take the square root of both sides. And your final answer, you can leave it like this, square root of E over M. And you can leave it just like that. Number 10, we're solving for S. First thing we need to do is get rid of the M. So we will divide both sides by M. To undo the squared, you will take the square root of both. And you can leave that as S equals the square root of A over M. Whew. And on the back side of that page, we only have 2 more questions. And with these, we are using formulas. 11 says, find how long it would take someone to travel 26.2 miles if their average speed was 18 miles per hour. And we are using the formula D equals RT. Distance equals rate times time. 26.2 is our distance. 18 miles per hour is a rate. And we are trying to figure out T, which is time. So to solve that, we would divide both sides by 18. And with your calculators, if you do 26.2 divided by 18, I think you end up with like 1.45. So I would just say, this means approximately equal to, and I would just say it took you approximately 1.5 hours.
Why do you always do like your T's like a little, have like a tail?
Christian wants to.
Number 12. If it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit, what is the temperature in Celsius? And we're using this formula. Since this is our Fahrenheit temperature, we're going to put it in for F. And you will have 80 equals 9/5 C plus 32. Solving that, you are going to subtract 32 from both sides. And you end up with 48 equals 9/5 C. And now we have to get rid of this 9/5. So we multiply both sides by 5 over 9. And 5 times 48 divided by 9 is 26.6 repeating. And that is our degrees in Celsius.